Have you ever caught your dog just staring at you for no obvious reason? Not blinking, not moving, just watching you like they're trying to understand something deeper. Most people laugh it off. Some even feel a little uncomfortable. But what if that stare actually means something far more emotional than you think? Because the truth is, your dog isn't just looking at you. They're trying to connect with you. And once you understand what's really happening in those quiet moments, the way you see your dog might change forever. A lot of dog owners assume that when their dog stares at them, they want something simple: food, attention, maybe a walk. And sometimes, sure, that's part of it. But that's not the full story. Because dogs don't just use their eyes to ask for things. They use their eyes to communicate feelings. In fact, studies have shown that when a dog gazes into their owner's eyes, both the dog and the human experience a release of oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds a mother to a child. Think about that for a second. Your dog staring at you is biologically similar to a baby looking at their parent. It's not random, it's emotional, and it's deeply intentional. You might notice this stare happens at very specific moments. When you're sitting quietly, when you're on your phone, when you're not giving them direct attention. They're not being weird. They're checking in with you. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to human behavior. They watch your body language, your tone, your energy, and when they stare, it's often because they're trying to read you. They're asking silent questions. Are you okay? Are we safe? Are you happy? Because to your dog, your emotional state is everything. Their world revolves around you more than you probably realize. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Sometimes that stare isn't about reading you, it's about being seen by you. There's a quiet moment many dog owners miss. Your dog looks at you and holds that gaze, waiting. Not for food, not for commands, just for eye contact. Because eye contact, in the dog world, is powerful. In the wild, direct staring can be a sign of threat. But with you, your dog chooses to look at you softly. That means they trust you completely. They feel safe enough to be vulnerable in your presence. And when you look back at them, you complete that connection. You're telling them, without words, I see you too. And that moment, even if it only lasts a few seconds, strengthens your bond in a way most people don't even realize. But not all stares are the same. Sometimes your dog's gaze carries a different energy. A more intense one. You might notice their ears shift, their body becomes still, and their eyes lock onto you more sharply. This kind of stare can mean they're trying to understand something confusing. Maybe you did something out of routine. Maybe your tone changed. Dogs thrive on patterns. When something feels off, they look at you for answers. They're trying to solve you, trying to predict what happens next. Because in their mind, you are the center of everything. And when they can't read you clearly, they watch you even more closely. There's also a softer version of this behavior, one that happens when your dog is relaxed. Maybe they're laying down across the room. You glance over, and they're already looking at you. Not intensely, just quietly, almost like they've been watching you for a while. This isn't about confusion. This is about comfort. Dogs often watch the people they love the most. Not because they need something, but because being aware of you makes them feel secure. It's similar to how humans might check on someone they care about. You don't always need a reason, you just want to know they're there. And your dog feels the same way. But then there are moments when that stare becomes almost emotional. You might be having a bad day, feeling stressed, maybe even a little lost in your thoughts. And suddenly, your dog is there, looking at you in a way that feels different, gentler, more focused, like they know something. And in a way, they do. Dogs may not understand your problems the way humans do, but they understand your emotions. They pick up on subtle changes in your breathing, your posture, your energy. And when they stare at you in those moments, it's often their way of offering comfort. No words, no solutions, just presence, just connection. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. But here's something most people completely misunderstand. They think their dog is staring to manipulate you, to get something. And yes, dogs are smart. They learn what works. If staring at you gets some food, they'll do it again. If it gets your attention, same thing. But even them, it's layered. Because dogs don't separate emotion from behavior the way humans do. Even when they want something, the act of looking at you is still tied to connection. You are their source of safety, comfort, and everything they know. So when they look at you, it's never just about the thing they want. It's about you. Always you. And here's a detail most people overlook completely. How you respond to your dog's stare shapes your relationship. If you ignore it every time, they may stop trying to connect that way. If you respond with warmth, even just a glance, a smile, a soft word, you reinforce that bond. You tell them, I'm here with you. And over time, those small moments build something much deeper. Trust, understanding, a silent language between you and your dog that doesn't need words. Because in the end, your dog isn't just staring at you. They're learning you, feeling you, loving you in the only way they know how. So the next time you catch your dog looking at you like that, don't just brush it off. Don't assume it's random. Look back at them. Hold that moment. Because in their eyes, you're not just a person. They're their entire world. And sometimes, all they want is to make sure you're still there with them.